Hello and namaste to all of you. It is your audio number 8 of Sustainable Development under UPSC GS series. We are doing Unit 5 Natural Resource Exploitation of Sustainable Development. General instruction for student is listen the audio carefully and note down 10 words from this audio. Table 5.1. The indicators and parameters of sustainable agriculture. Serial number 1. Indicator is soil fertility and health. Parameter is number of beneficial organisms, e.g. earthworms per square meter. Number 2. Number of predatory mites. Number 3. Number of beneficial microorganisms. Number 4. Soil organic carbon, measure of healthy soil structure. Number 2. Indicator is soil loss. Parameters are number 1. Soil cover index, proportion of time soil is covered with crop, protects against leaching and erosion, promotes water binding. Number 2. Soil erosion, loss of topsoil in percentage per annum or in tons, hectares or annum. Number 3. Nutrients. Indicator is nutrients. Parameters are number 1. Amount of inorganic nitrogen N, phosphates P, potassium K applied per hectare or per ton of product. Number 2. Proportion of N fixed on site imported. Number 3. Balance of NPK over crop rotations. Number 4. Emissions of N compounds to air. Number 4. Indicator is pest management. Parameters are number 1. Amount of pesticides active ingredient applied per hectare or per ton of product. Number 2. Type applied, profiling, positive list, weighting factor. Number 3. Percentage of crop under integrated pest management IPM. Number 5. Biodiversity. Indicator is biodiversity. Parameters are number 1. Level of biodiversity on site. Number of species, e.g. birds, butterflies, form landscape, habitat for natural predator systems, e.g. hedgerows, ponds, non-cropped areas. Number 2. Level of biodiversity, off-site, cross-boundary effects. Number 6. Product value. Indicator is product value. Parameters are number 1. Total value of produce per hectare. Number 2. Yield of target product in tons per hectare. Number 3. Conformance to quality specifications, nutritional value including minerals, pesticide, residues, foreign bodies, etc. Number 4. Ratio of solid waste reused, recycled over solid waste disposed to landfill. Number 7th indicator is energy. Parameters are number 1. Balance, total energy input, total energy output including transport where relevant. Number 2. Ratio renewable over non-renewable energy inputs. Number 3. Emissions to air, greenhouse and pollutant gases. Number 8. Indicators water. Parameters are number 1. Amount of water used per hectare or ton of product for irrigation. Number 2. Leaching and runoff of pesticides to surface and groundwater. Number 3. Leaching and runoff of NPK nutrients to surface and groundwater. Number 9. Social human capital is the indicator. Parameters are group number 1, group dynamics, organizational density, former groups, rural community awareness of relevance and benefits of sustainable practices, connectivity to society at large. Number 3, rate of innovation. Serial number 10, local economy. Parameters are indicators are local economy. Parameters are number 1, amount of money profit reinvested locally. Number 2, percentage of goods, labor, services sourced locally. Number 3, employment level in local community. 3.2, industry. According to the United Nations, industry has a key role to play in achieving the goals of sustainable development as supplier of goods and services required by the society, as a source of job creation and as an active participant in community life. The historical path of industrialization may be summarized as under. Number 1, 1880s, the English system. Apply power driven machines to old pre industrial methods. Number 2, 1850 to 1920, the American system. Standardization of products and interchangeability of parts. Number 3, 1920 to 1960, Taylorism, assembly line, vertical integration and optimization of individual tasks. Number 4, 1960 to 1985, quality control. Add to Taylorism new techniques, quality control and applications of computers to individual functions. Number 5, 1990, flexible and holistic approach. Functional integration, flexibility, decentralization, horizontal management, teamwork and networking. Rapid strides in technology have contributed to the rapid spread of industrialized production. Beginning from the Industrial Revolution in England, future directions of change in production technology is to move from mass production of uniform goods and services to those tailored to the needs and likings of individuals. Flexible manufacturing systems, connected, decentralized production units as new factories, horizontal management rather than Taylorism are the emerging trends. This trend has the potential to revitalize craft-like production systems that build upon creativity, imagination, intuition, and skills embedded in local cultures. These approaches are emerging as strong candidates for innovative technologies for sustainable and environmentally friendly production systems, widespread adoption of which can move a substantial part of manufacturing activity away from non-sustainable mass production systems. With reference to existing industry, Agenda 21 states business and industry, including transnational corporations, play a crucial role in the social and economic development of the country. Increasing prosperity, a major goal of the developmental process, is contributed primarily by the activities of business and industry. Business enterprises, large and small, formal and informal, provide major trading, employment, and livelihood opportunities. Since the Earth Summit, business and industry have broadly improved environment performance while simultaneously creating jobs and improving living standards. Their commitment to this goal has been apparent through many innovative initiatives and initiatives by several business groups and individual companies. Some of them are: number 1, responsible entrepreneurship. This initiative provides the managerial, technical, and financial resources to contribute to the resolution of environmental challenges. Number two, corporate environmental management tools. This integrates sustainable development considerations into everyday business. It will contribute to the harmonization of environmental regulation and enforcement and will further improve corporate policy and practice. Number three, technology cooperation. The private sector has an useful role to play in the delivery of effective technology cooperation which involves the transfer of skills and knowledge and just not the hardware. While it is apparent that the free market is the main driving force for the efficient introduction and assimilation of technology, successful long-term technology cooperation requires that all parties must gain from the cooperation while at the same time the protection of patents and intellectual property rights of the developer is essential. Number four, industry and fresh water. Industry is not the main user of fresh water, but it has the know-how to manage this resource. It has already begun to manage industrial water. It can, in the future, raise awareness within business, communities, and agricultural sector to take action. The rapid globalization, initiated in part by advances in communication technology, has facilitated the integration of national systems of production and finance, resulting in the growth of cross-border flows of goods, services, and capital. The United Nations Environment Programme (UNEP), as a contribution to the World Summit on Sustainable Development (WSSD), organized workshops in different continents that facilitated global and regional industry sector reports. These generated some recommendations on the role of industry in sustainable development for the continents as follows. Africa. Number one, promotion of industrial development on a sustainable basis remains a high priority area to alleviate poverty. Number two, increased investment, increased investment in industry and the resultant increase in employment and wealth are necessary to improve capacity building and the environment. Asia and Pacific. Number one, small and medium enterprises play a decisive role in the region. They need to be involved more directly. Number two, unequal opportunities for men and women, violation of basic labor rights, etc., are counteracting sustainable development. Stringent enforcement of relevant legislation and transparency of operating conditions are needed to address these issues. Europe and North America. Number one, industry desires clear and consistent targets in the effort to advance sustainability. Number two, new business models are needed for promoting sustainable development, in particular those that introduce cleaner technologies, products and practices, implement new work and employment systems and create effective partnership structures. Latin America and the Caribbean. Number one, innovative financing for sustainable development needs to be done. Number two, internal markets promoting manufacture of value-added products need to be developed. Number three, modernization and expansion is needed to compete in the international market. West Asia. Number one, the region must develop more small-scale new industries to counter the dominance of the established large-scale industries. Number two, with the increase of private sector development and the shrinking of government bureaucracy, the private sector must not form monopolies or cause shortages that deprive people of their essential needs. Number 3.3 Service. The economic and industrial changes that have resulted from technological advances in agriculture and industry have led to the development of a complex integrated system, which includes number A, more producers and capital investment, number B, an extensive supply and service sector, which provides inputs to producers and consumers, number C, a major processing, transportation and distribution sector, which moves an enormous range of products from the site of production to consumers in both national and international markets. Number D, extensive government participation in the form of regulatory activities, taxation and expenditure, policies, commercial initiatives, research, market development, and involvement in matters of international trade and commerce. With the emergence of globalization, the service sector is growing to cater to the demands of both the producers as well as the consumers. Institutional reforms are required in national agricultural and industrial research and extension systems in many developing countries so as to make them demand driven and responsive. This requires access to databases of best practices for technology generation and dissemination. Application of new information and communication technologies can also help make extension services responsive. Where appropriate, extension services should be decentralized with appropriate combination of economic and social entrepreneurship with government role to assure adequate attention to sustainability concerns. Point 4. Defense and armament. Many corporations were born out of the wars and today a strong relationship between military expansion and companies remains. While globally military expenditure accounts for 3% of gross national product (GNP), compared with social development expenditure of 10% for health and education. In some countries, military expenditure even exceeds social spending. There is particular concern about the sale of arms to oppressive or aggressive regimes or into areas of potential instability. There is also particular concern about certain types of weapons, landmines, and nuclear, chemical, biological weapons. Such weapons cause substantial civilian casualties, can linger for many years, and risk escalation and uncontrollable damage. For many groups, companies involved in the manufacture of these types of weapons are particularly unacceptable. Contemporary war economies are characterized in part by the sometimes legal but more often illicit or informal exploitation of abundant valuable natural resources, including but not limited to oil, diamonds, timber, and columbite, tantalite ore, that is coltan. Coltan is used in the fabrication of mobile telephones, laptop computers, and other high-tech products. Proceeds from these conflict commodities have provided significant financing for the parties involved in wars and are pointed to as one of the contributing factors in the continuation or risk of renewed outbreak of these conflicts. Natural resource endowment alone does not necessarily mean that a country is at risk of civil war. However, when combined with other factors such as poor governance, extreme income inequalities, economic and social exclusion, declining growth rates, ethnic tensions, etc., they are more likely to become a source of tension as competing groups attempt to control access to them. A World Bank study has revealed that the risk of civil war is 4 times higher for natural resource dependent states than for countries having no primary resource commodities. Also, while resources can prove a boon for economic expansion, in developing countries, they have more often been with little or no positive effects on the local economy. For example, it is worth noting that 12 of the world's 25 most mineral dependent states and 6 of the world's most oil dependent states are classified by the World Bank as highly indebted poor countries with amongst the world's most human development indicators. Several explanations have been offered for the emergence of new tensions and wars. The most common is that with the abrupt retraction of superpower patronage in the early 1990s, governments and guerrilla groups alike were left to their own devices to finance their military campaigns in what had become extensions of the proxy wars that characterized the Cold War. Warfare and conflict divert resources away from development. The two world wars have shown us that war destroys the whole economies of nations. Large armies and armaments industries increase the risk of conflict and the temptation to use such forces either directly or as a threat, for example by terrorists, results in diversion of expenditure from social spending into unproductive military and arms trade. This is of grave concern to the progress of sustainable development. Point 5. Quest for comfort. Quest for comfort manifests in many forms. Some examples are: number 1, the quest for reliable and plentiful food supply. The quest for number 2, the quest for abundant, clean, safe water. Number 3, the quest for cheap and abundant energy. Number 4, the quest to reach the stars, solid fuels. Number 5, the quest on demand. Number 6, the quest to cure disease. Number 7, the quest for flexible and versatile materials. Within these quests, one can discern micro quests, e.g., the emerging quests for designer molecules, molecular level fabrication, designer genes, lab on a chip, nanotechnology, genomics, and macro quest for sustainable future, environmental protection, pollution prevention, greenhouse gas reduction, sustainable development. In pursuing these quests, we take on a variety of challenging roles, those for the dreamer, visionary, inventor, builder, entrepreneur, manager, policymaker, etc. We discharge our roles following a particular lifestyle that may or may not be compatible with sustainable development. 5.1, Lifestyle and Consumerism. The problems of consumerism and lifestyle in a market economy have long been neglected. The price of consumerism is a core problem in sustainable development because it concerns the, the consumption of natural resources converted into products and due to non-biodegradability of waste. In a market economy, consumerism is based merely on the assumption, assumptions that the market will grow as consumption increases. Consideration of the meaning, value and impact on environment of consumerism, however, is not possible in terms of the market economy. It is only from the perspectives of political and ecological economy that the problems of consumerism will surface. If the practice of consumerism remains unchanged, economic globalization will simply cause the ecological environment to deteriorate further. High levels of consumption are certainly the first and foremost killers of our natural habitat. Humanity's concept of well-being derives from the urge to fulfill desires that are to a considerable extent determined determined by the values of society as a whole. In a market-oriented economy, such desires are generated by forces that push the expansion of market, leaving little space to reflect upon other desires. People's confidence in consumerism becomes an important factor in economic expansion. If we wish to transform society by simply changing degree of consumption but not people's desire for gratification, talk of sustainable development will remain empty talk. Why can we not slow down and ask ourselves whether present day styles of consumption are really what we want? Because we are being indoctrinated to chasing higher and higher levels of consumption, facing the problems of consumerism is far more difficult than we can imagine. Shouldn't we seriously consider a simpler lifestyle? Are we not being brainwashed and misled to believe that economies must grow relentlessly? Does the concept of economic recession not imply some specific subjective value and a materialistic mode of consumption? Do we have no choice? These are some of the questions connected with lifestyle. Sustainable lifestyle. The answer to the question, what is sustainable lifestyle, has to be worked out by different communities or families in their respective cultures. It will be different in detail for everyone. Though we could suggest some basic guidelines, what follows is no more than a rough framework for more sustainable and ethical living. It can and should be locally customized through your own reflection and wherever you are. Number one, eat thoughtfully. Eating eating fresh produce, less meat, and avoiding processed foods is now coming in vogue in the rich countries as a sign of good living. For once, it might be worth following fashion, though not for fashion's sake. When choosing food, try asking yourself these six questions. Number one, does the production of this food cause the unnecessary suffering of animals? Number two, or cause the unnecessary suffering of other humans? Number three, where does the food come from? A farm nearby, the closer to home, the better. Number four, how was the food produced? Number five, have pesticides and insecticides been used in its production? Number six, is the food likely to contain genetically modified organisms, GMOs, like like Monsanto's Roundup Ready soybeans? Is in prioritizing money spent on food, poor people have little option, but better off spend large proportion of their income on leisure, tobacco, alcohol, travel. Why don't we spend more on good food? That is food produced by sustainable farming systems such as organic growing, eating food fresh, uncontaminated, wholesome food is one of the best things we can do to keep healthy and vigorous and support sustainable development. Number two, shop thoughtfully. Number one, shopping locally on foot or bike has health benefits since few of us take sufficient exercise. Number two, check the labels, insist as proper labeling on packaged food. We need honest labeling, eco labels to help us choose wisely. How can we consumers how can we consumers make ethical and sustainable choices for the products we buy if we cannot find out how they are produced? Number three, buy manufactured goods thoughtfully. Ask, find out, e.g., from consumer magazines, which now include environmental information in many cases about a manufactured product before you buy it. Ask yourself if you need it or just want it. Number three, bank thoughtfully. Invest ethically and use an ethically sound bank for your money. By placing your money with ethical banks or investment groups, you can be sure that your money is used in a way that supports sustainable industry and development. If you actively wish to use your money to help the needy, you can place it with groups who then lend it to small cooperative ventures in impoverished communities. You can choose whether to accept interest on your investment. Number four, vote thoughtfully. Use your political power wisely. Press your government, local and national, to a tax system to reward sustainability. Some tax systems are lumbering slowly towards taxing resources, not people. This has the benefit of making it less expensive for companies to employ people and can mean more employment. But we need big changes and we need them soon. For example, to encourage a sustainable transport system, we need to change taxes on cars to penalize those who use cars exclusively and excessively to encourage carpooling. Number 5. Use natural resources thoughtfully. With an eye to the future, ponder if anything will be left for your grandchildren or for their children. Does what you consume cause pollution either directly or indirectly? Climate change and depletion are useful. Get enthusiastic about renewable energy. Install or build your own solar heating. Many cheap and simple designs are available for this and many other sustainable technologies. With technologies available now, more and more of all our energy needs could be met sustainably. The problem is that our whole industrial and economic infrastructure is geared to maintaining quo, the status quo and centralized power stations and fossil fueled transportation. Yet there is vast potential here for new industry to exploit the power of the sun either directly, solar heating, photovoltaics, or indirectly, wind, waves, tide, biogas, fast growing wood. Encourage your government, national or local, to offer support for schemes that improve energy efficiency. Do not wait for someone else to or do it or nothing will happen. Number 6. Dialogue thoughtfully. Each the process forward by listening to others as well as giving your own opinions. When talking with friends, neighbors, local groups, politicians, business people, religious groups, to ease the process forward, we the people have to get involved. Getting involved is very empowering. Know the issues, seek the persuade by making practical sense. Start a forum for local ideas, which also helps to rebuild a sense of community. 5.2 Energy. The world's oil reserves are estimated to be 1 trillion barrel. 1 trillion barrels. At the present rate of consumption, it is estimated these reserves will be exhausted in 45 years. All recent international efforts assessing the environment, including the 1992 Earth Summit in Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro, the Integrated Pollution Prevention and Control (IPPC), the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change (UNFCCC), and the various sessions of the Commission for Sustainable Development (CSD) refer to the massive consumption of oil and other fossil fuels as aggravating global environmental problems such as acid rain and the greenhouse effect. The Kyoto Protocol, recently adopted in the context of the Climate Change Convention, calls for a decrease in carbon dioxide emissions only possible if energy efficiency and renewable energy sources are promoted with determination. Modern agriculture is heavily dependent on non-renewable energy sources, especially petroleum-derived fertilizers and irrigation pumps. The continued use of these energy sources cannot be sustained indefinitely, yet to abruptly abandon our reliance on them would not be economically feasible. A sudden cut-off in energy supply would be disruptive. In sustainable agriculture systems, there is reduced reliance on non-renewable energy sources and a substitution of renewable sources to the extent that is economically feasible. From an energy perspective, agriculture has a double role. It is an energy user and an energy producer. All stages of the food chain require one form of energy or another, and renewable energies such as biomass, solar and wind could make an important contribution to its sustainability and productivity through technologies useful in irrigation, mechanization, processing, conservation, transport, etc. The economic use and promotion of renewable energy sources is vital to ensure food security for future generations. As farmers farmers in the future may increasingly be faced with the difficult task of the need to produce a higher quantity and quality of food. In industrialized countries, there is already a trend to move towards agriculture with less fossil sources in terms of direct electricity, fuels, and indirect fertilizers, pesticides, energy inputs. In developing countries where agriculture is still largely energy starved, the required increase in energy intensity will depend on the availability of energy resources and on the price and other policies related to their utilization. In all countries, renewable energies will undoubtedly play an increasing role in agriculture production. Moreover, agriculture could become a major energy producer. The, the conversion of large amounts of agricultural residues into energy, taking into account that a minimum quantity must be left on site to recycle nutrients, can contribute considerably to national energy balances. The potential of combined production of sugar and electricity to be fed to the grid is very significant. Purposely grown biomass for energy has also high potential, especially in the context of land set aside, land rehabilitation, and reforestation programs, always taking care that this form of energy production does not enter in competition for land for food production, which must take precedence. Energy for the from agriculture is a topic which requires increasing attention from policymakers and scientists as a key element of national and global responses to the need for fossil fuel substitution, enhancing environmental awareness, achieving emission targets, and more importantly, eliminating poverty and hunger from the rural areas of many developing countries. Point 6. Summary on the natural resources exploitation. The available natural resources in a country determine its socio-economic strength. Technological somehow and economic determinism enhance the resource use capability of the country for development. A balance between environmental constraints and economic policies is required for sustainable development. The measure of sustainability of a country is indicated by parameters of sustainable development. Towards achieving this, stewardship of both natural and human resources is of prime importance. A major goal of sustainable agriculture is to provide food and fiber for the world's growing population while minimizing resource inputs, improving land management practices, protecting natural ecosystems, and improving human health and socio-economic equity. Achieving sustainable agriculture may require radical changes in many areas and in the future may lie at the crossroads of modern intensive technological agriculture and more traditional environmentally benign farming methods. Industry is a powerful social institution and thus is a major player in determining the kind of world in which we live. Achieving sustainability will require that sustainable practices become a dominant management theme and an accepted or even expected way of doing business throughout the corporate world, both in industry and agriculture. Systemic changes are needed if we are to solve these problems. Some of the other imperatives are as follows. Number one, promote awareness and build capacity at the community level to manage resources that support the livelihoods for the poor and the rural communities. Number two, provide incentives for better management and use of natural resources to improve local livelihood and national economy. Local economy, local livelihood and national economy. Number three, build broad-based constituencies and partnerships and at community level for sustainable change and development and promoting knowledge networks. Number four, effective governance structures are needed to monitor and ensure sustainable and equitable management and use of natural resources. Clear roles need to be defined for institutions, communities, and individuals. This is the eighth audio. Thank you.